Hello friends, welcome again to another session with me. Another day. Today was a bloodbath in markets. Not a bloodbath, but kind of red day in markets. Almost literally most of the stocks were down. Nifty was down, almost by 1%, and not a good day to be honest. At least for my personal portfolio. Also, it was down probably a percent, but I think the trade with Trendline Investor portfolio was kind of flat, right? So that was primarily because of TATALXSI and CRAFTSMAN. LXCHEM hit up a down low circuit, but I think TATALXSI kind of kept our portfolio up, and yeah, we had a red day. Like, how was your portfolio today? Was it red, green? If you were green, then you did a good job. You have some of the best stocks in your portfolio, and do not sell the stocks which are green, right? So you have two choices in days like these. One is panic and sell off everything and sit quiet, then have a FOMO once the market goes up again, or stick to your rules and go through pain days like today, go through drawdowns, and when the market goes up, rejoice and enjoy the moves up, right? So it's time to keep your basically there are days when you have joys, like when the portfolio is up 2-3%, but there's pain also. You can't have just one way up in any aspect of your life, right? So yeah, days like today should be taken as equal as days like up days. It's very difficult even today, even nowadays. Even I do have a pain when the portfolio goes down, but I do not take really bad decisions. I do not really exit my stocks unless I feel that a structure has broken, or if I feel there are other opportunities, only then, right? So yeah, we have 15 people. Hey, Malik, hey Dinesh, hi Vijay, hey Tabitha, Shankar. Prakash is asking, was DXI the spoiler? I'm not really. I have no idea what was the spoiler. I feel that there are market dynamics which play across the world, and I don't think DXA was spoiler. If DXA was spoiler, then DXA has been going up since 6th of September, and we also have been going up since 6th of September. So I'm not quite sure on that whether that was a spoiler, because could have been, who knows. But since 6th of September we've been going up, right? And then yeah, probably DXA could have been spoiler, but I think the US markets also had US and Europe markets had a bad day. Kind of they are reversing from very key important levels, right? If you see, I did post this chart on Twitter, so go ahead and check it out. But I think we've had a really good candle on DAX, and also on Dow Jones we are having a good candle now. In fact, we have recovered. I think if you look at the 5-minute charts, we kind of had a symmetrical triangle breakout right now, just 10 minutes back, right? So I think we are kind of done. I think for short term we should be done, and market should head up again. Now I'm not sure about the Indian markets where they will head up, but definitely it looks like the US markets and Europe markets are kind of have bottomed out today. That could be just my take, because everyone is expecting a crash. I don't think markets will just crash just because everyone is expecting a crash. But remember, we spoke about this level, which is very key support for Nifty, and I think probably we're going to do some dilly-dallying around this level. We might do ping pong, and probably we break down or break out, so that's what I'm expecting. But as of today's closing, markets did look very bad, and we had some plans yesterday, and even if we did not have any plan, all we have to do is follow swing high, swing low, right? So what I feel is this could have been that resistance where Nifty kind of got rejected. So you can give this reason to DXY, you can give the reason to anything, but I purely feel that this was a resistance, and after this move up from down, there is always going to be profit booking, because there are a lot of people stuck on levels on the top, right? So the reason why support and resistance work is primarily because a lot of people stuck around those levels and they get out at this point, and then there's sell off, and the demand kind of is less and supply is more. So when supply is more than demand, obviously you'll have a fall, right? Now you could have taken advantage of this in multiple ways. Now one of the major thing that we spoke about is this trend line, right? So this trend line is something that we spoke about, and we did speak about how we had a nice little breakout over there, right? And also we also spoke about how we had inverted head and shoulders breakout as well. right? So a lot of things were spoken, and if you look at all it, if you take everything into perspective, then you know that this breakdown was the first sign of this market kind of topping out for today, and we've had a double top right at that point. We had 2 times rejections, and then market also broke this level, right? So we broke this level, that level there, and we also broke this trend line, and we had 2 retests. And at least if we'd not short at this level, you'd have at least shorted here, and probably need some decent money today, right? There are multiple ways to trade. So there are multiple positive signals, negative signals today. Trend line break, horizontal support break, retest twice of that breaks levels, and we came down, right? So the trend is completely down for now, and I think tomorrow I'm not sure whether we gap out, gap up or gap down, but we are in a no man's land territory, because I don't see any pattern around the zone. The only thing I can see is we are close to this zone here, right? So which is a good level. Let's delete everything. Let's focus on just this level, right? So we are close to this zone here, which is probably a support zone, right? Now markets can reverse tomorrow from here at this zone, but I'm not really sure whether we reverse from this point. But what you can do is, right now we are having clear low high, low lows. All you need to do is take a trade once we cross this zone, right, which is the previous swing high. So 17,695 or 17,700 is the level that you want to watch out for. And if you go above that level, then probably we are again heading high. Then you keep a stop loss around the day's low, right? If that's pretty too deep, then you can also keep a fixed stop loss and take a trade. But for now, I'd be looking for any signs of gap up tomorrow this level. You can use it to short, probably for lower targets towards that trend line which we spoke about just now, right? So this is the trend line that I'm talking about. So I think we might probably test this trend line once more before we head higher, right? But we might also gap up tomorrow. We never know how the market is going to react, because everyone is talking about a gap up today, but we gapped up and then we just started coming down, right? So there are multiple ways you can look at markets, right? So here at this point, if we gap up towards 17,690 levels, and if you see red candle, then go short with a stop around that point for targets below, or if you go above that, go long with a stop loss at the swing low or a fixed stop loss. Right, so that's going to be the plan for tomorrow. And I'm not sure how many of you are trading Nifty, but do let me know. I spend daily at least 5-10 minutes discussing this. I hope it's helpful. Okay, hey Krishnavani, hi Vallabh, hi Arun, hey Deepabrita. Okay, we look at a lot of people have joined. Yeah, so let's look at our portfolio, right? So what is our portfolio doing? Our portfolio is up again. In fact, this morning we were up, I think, around 23-24%. But overall we have 22%, right? And we are doing pretty well compared to the overall markets, right? Our portfolio is strong enough, and as I always say, go here and check your journey. You want to be having a good journey in this equity curve. You see, we have just been making new highs steadily. We've been making new highs, except for the initial jitter, like the initial pain that we had when we lost 3-4% of our capital, right? Otherwise, just let the markets do its job. You can't control which stock is going to go up, which stock is going to go down. Keep a stop loss, have your trades in, and let the markets decide, right? Otherwise, I think two stocks were really strong today. One is CRAFTSMAN and one is TATALXSI. But let's look at also LXCHEM, right? So I think LXCHEM is kind of consolidating now around that level, right? So we kind of I think we might head towards 4,530 levels again, and we might reverse. I just feel it's just today's market effect which has brought it down, and it has hit low circuit. But -5% still means that you're under control. Now there's a chance that it can hit low circuit continuously and go below our stop loss. But then remember, we always exit, try to exit the moment we go below stop loss. Just exit at whatever price you get. Now I don't know why my volumes are not working. Indicators are not working. Okay, yeah, it is. So yeah, so we did move up yesterday with a strong volume. So I still see this is a sign of a big move coming ahead. Just a one-day correction, probably another day of correction, but let's see how this behaves, right? So that's the trend line I'd be watching, and just watching to see if it is kind of respecting the trend line, or the trend line can be this, that, anything. I'm just drawing one for now, just to keep a track of it and how we behave. So let's see how this behaves tomorrow. But for now, there's nothing to do. You don't have to do anything. There's nothing to panic about. It's a very strong stock. It has given one of the best returns. Even if we lose, we don't have nothing much to lose. But if we gain, we still have a lot more gains to gain. Okay, so next is TATALXSI. TATALXSI has given an excellent breakout today. We've had really good volumes and a good move today in spite of the bad markets, in spite of the IT index being down. IT index was down. IT index in fact has been rejected from that trend line, and I think IT stocks can go down further, but TATALXSI is really good. So don't exit a stock just because the sector is down. It can continue to do well. Okay, now here I'm not trailing my stop loss yet. My stop loss will continue to be at 5550 or 5570, which is around this low or this low. Yeah, whatever that low is, right? I don't know why I keep 5570. Yeah, 5550. I'm sorry. Yeah, so 5550 the stop loss, which is this low here. Now, if you're really aggressive, you can also trail your stop loss to 5790, especially for swing trade and all. It's really important to protect your profits. So I don't mind, if you are okay, you can also go ahead and trail your stop loss to 5790, which is this low here, right? Or even to the master candle low, right? But yeah, I'm not doing it. We'll keep it here because that's a major swing low, and I don't expect this to be taken out anytime soon. ANURAS has been weak. We did speak about this yesterday, that there's a chance that this can come ahead and again test here. Now tomorrow, if this kind of breaks down, then that's going to be some sign of weakness. But we will not exit this. Remember, stop loss around 770 or 740 here, and we will not exit that unless we go below that. Because remember, it can go sideways still and then head higher again. Okay. Next is CRAFTSMAN. CRAFTSMAN had a beautiful breakout today. Follow through from yesterday. We did speak about that there was a pyramiding opportunity yesterday, but the wick today is kind of a little worrying. But that's just a temporary sell-off, I feel, because of the weak markets. But it was positive and it had strong strength the entire day. So nothing to worry there as well. So all these four stocks are good, except ANURAS needs to pick up. But if ANURAS doesn't really move, you can look at some other stocks if you want, and you can move your money there as well. Losing 200 rupees is okay, but the stock has just not moved. So if you're feeling uncomfortable after these moves, after the sell-off on the top, you can move ahead and go to other stocks. It's completely up to you. But as I said, I'm trying to teach you a methodology for a full-time person who has a job, a full-time, and who doesn't want to middle with your portfolio too much. Okay, so that's all. But some of the stocks that were strong today was VIP, it was positive. Then you had Britannia, which is positive. You had ICIL. So Britannia has probably made a bottom here. And yeah, the stop loss can be 3865 in case you want to go long. ICL, that was reversal. We did speak about that. And now we are having a follow through. It is also one of the best stocks in this entire red day today, right? The sugar stocks are kind of consolidating. I know a lot of people will be panicking of us what's going to happen. Remember, it can always come back here and again head higher, right? Now, so you need to have patience. You can't just say, that it's correcting and all that. Correction is part of markets, and you need to understand it's always going to be there. Okay, so that's it from my side. Let's look at your stock queries for today, and let's see what you have for me. Not many questions today. Anyways, let's start with Amit's question. Amit has a question on Adani Power. Yeah, Adani Power has not done anything, right? So I not really buy this right now. If you really are looking for momentum, I'd buy this only above that point, right? Above 112 is when I'd buy. I don't buy it until it crosses that. It can go into some sideways consolidation, but the stock as such is in a still strong momentum. It has still not broken the weekly lows, which is this one, right? We did reverse and come back, and we've had some really good green candles and followed by not so bad red candles. So we're still seeing some demand over there. I feel that this still has some moves before it goes down. But for the entire thing, the stop loss should be around 70, or if you're a little aggressive also, you can keep your stop loss around 89. Right, but 112, I'm not sure when you entered, but 112 is a little higher price. I wouldn't have entered at that price, to be honest. And I always say don't enter when a stock hits upper circuits like that, right, or upper circuits like this. Always enter on breakouts or on pullbacks, right? So that was a good point to enter probably, but you should have exited probably when it went below 91, right? So yeah, not a good structure, but I think it's just consolidating. It might take some more time before it heads higher. Okay, they were asking for team lease. Let's look at team lease. Yeah, it's in a good structure. It's going up. It had a very strong resistance here. It kind of broke that. It went high, and it is still going high. So the structure is strong. You can continue to hold here. The stop loss is 4231, or you can add even now. Okay. Ganesh is asking Deccan Cements. Yeah, Deccan Cements has broken out today. I think the entire cement space is looking good again. So Deccan Cements has finally broken out from the previous this one. So it's just a normal consolidation again here. The stop loss can be 670 odd. And I think I also gave Shridig in this week's recommendation. You see cement stocks all are positive. So a lot of positive signs here in the cement space. So it might do well in the coming days. So yeah, hold on. Hey Masood, Uflex looks like a good inverted head and shoulder setup to enter. Can you take a look at it, please? Arun is asking. Uflex. Yes, definitely. It does look like a good head and shoulders. So it has broken out today, right? So these are stocks that you want to focus on in the coming days, right? So Uflex is a good candidate. So we saw just another stock, which was Deccan Cements. That is also looking great. So again, here the stop loss is pretty small, 527. It looks good. Symphony, let's look at Symphony. Yeah, I have a lot of drawings here. Pretty old drawings might be. Yeah, so it did have a very strong support over there, which I drew some time back. And yeah, it did have a strong support there as well. It is kind of retesting. It's kind of breaking out again. But let's delete all these. They're pretty old, I think. Yeah, but for now, it's kind of broken out from the downtrend, right? But still not a strong stock compared to other stocks. It can do well going forward. No doubts about it, but yeah, it might not move that really well, but it did have a good day today, a positive day today, and it can do well, but I don't expect very strong moves because there's this nice resistance over here. It might take some time before it gives some really good moves. So if you really want to add this, then look for it above levels of 1150. Then it's probably forming a head and shoulders pattern here, right? But one of the best breakouts today was Bosch. We did speak about this a few days back. Someone asked me about Bosch, and I did mention that the levels to add this is about 16,800 or 700 or something I said. But this is a nice long-term downtrend. So 4 years downtrend breakout, and it has formed a double bottom here. It looks fantastic, and I think this might be one of the recommendations in this week's newsletter. Okay, yeah, Symphony does look good. NIACL, the New India Assurance. This also is setting up nicely. It's setting up really well. But don't enter until it crosses 180 levels, right? So it needs to cross 180 levels, and then you can probably, dive into the stock. But yeah, it does not a perfect trend line setup, but yeah, it can go sideways also sometime. That's why I'm saying don't enter right now. But it's setting up really nice. Add above 185 levels, okay? And probably can keep a stop around 150, 160 levels. Okay. Adorweld and BASF. I think we spoke about Adorweld yesterday, right? So it's breakout, it's just retesting probably. Here the stop loss is pretty small, 628 levels. BASF. Yeah, BASF is just sideways consolidation, and probably it has done a retest of the trend line, right? So trend line retest is done. It is probably heading higher from here. I think the entire chemical space is looking hot. A lot of stocks are running. Yeah, I can do well. Just keep a buy stop about 3620 with a stop around 3270. Can do well going forward as well. And it is in a strong long-term uptrend. So no signs, no worries, nothing. It can break out probably. Okay, Sagar is asking Patel's a temp and Raj Ratnan. Okay. Patel a temp. Good one, Sagar. I think you have a knack of finding the stocks which are breaking out. But yeah, these are good stocks. It has broken out finally today after the consolidation there. And I think it has also done a trend line retest. So that's the trend line that I'm looking at. It has done a perfect trend line retest. I think if you had found the stock here, that would have been a very, very good setup for you to trade. And in case you want to know how to find that, you can, use the commodity channel index and look for stocks which are crossing above 34, right? Sorry, above minus 100. Right, so we spoke about this multiple times. So if you see the stock crossed minus 100 on this day, so it came from minus 131 to minus 6. So this was the day you could have identified the stock. You would have identified the trend line reversal, keep a stop and buy it, and could have given good returns. Okay, but looks good, Sagar. On the long-term charts, also it looks good. It's probably going to break out from here, and then you can have a really good move going forward. Yeah, so let me know if it breaks out there, and then we can, probably look at it again. Rajrathan, I think it's again a good stock, a very strong stock. It has its first signs of consolidation, here, and yeah, it's kind of breaking out again. Now, this is what I'm telling, right? Even though trend line breakdown happens, it does not have to really uh, go down. It can go sideways, but I think it's kind of breaking out again. About to raise high, you can add, and it can go head higher. Again, stop loss is pretty small, and it's one of the best performing stocks as far as I know. Okay, Pradeep is asking LNT FH. LNT, yeah. I think this also has done a trend line retest here, right? And it's kind of reversing nicely. It's probably a couple of days of consolidation, and here we've had a breakout already from the trend line. So any dips towards 88 can be bought into, with a stop around 81. Okay, it does look good. It can head higher from here. Ganesh Aztec, Life Sciences. It's just been going sideways since many months, weeks probably. Yeah, don't buy this immediately because it can break down as well. It's forming lower highs. Lower lows is not formed, but it's forming lower highs, so it can still form this and go down. So if you want to buy this, for now buy it above 1400, and I think it can head higher from here. But it looks like a long consolidation that's happening around the median, around the middle of the trend line, parallel channel. Okay, yeah, so that's the level I'd be adding it above. Yes, Relaxo is good, Suhas, but let's look at it. Yeah, last 5 months it's just been going sideways. Yeah, so this is what I look at, right? So when you have such stocks, you want to see if there is any signs of trend lines, any trend lines that's reversing, right? So probably that's a trend line reversal at that point. But the problem is I don't have multiple touch points. I just have 2 touch points. And then what I do is I go to the hourly charts, linear charts, and then I also see if this is a trend line there. So I think probably this is done. So since the trend lines are coinciding in log and linear charts at the same point, I think the downside is done here, and it is just corrected towards the trend line. And I think we are done here with corrections. And probably you can keep a buyout about 1012.40, right, with a stop around 1140. Okay, it can do well. Fundamentally, also it's an excellent company. Yeah, 5 paisa also. It's I'm sorry, 5 paisa you can't really enter like that. You have to go here and enter. So 5 paisa also is is a good stock. It has strong momentum, but yeah, let's look at what it's doing. Right, so I don't see any trend line reversals as such, but yeah, it's going sideways. Probably it has done a retest towards the trend line. Again here, and if you don't want to keep your money idle because this can go sideways some more time, just keep a buy stop above 485 levels, right, with a stop around 440 levels, so it can do well as well. Okay, so again a decent setup. So I'm just looking for this trend line, if this is probably a reversal. Yeah, probably that's the trend line reversal, right? So we have a spike over there, probably on the weekly charts that could be a wick, right? So but it's getting close there. I might just probably wait for one more week probably, and then it might head higher. But yeah, it does look like a very good setup. It's consolidating on the previous all-time highs as well. So 485 is the point I'd be looking at, and above that you can add it. Masood Bosch, you can enter now. It's up to you. For me, the stop loss is 15,200. So if the risk allows, you can enter. But ideally, I'd wait for some consolidation and then enter, right? So I'd wait for some consolidation like this, and then I'll buy above that consolidation. So I have not entered right now because there's a very high chance it might come back all the way down tomorrow or day after, or it might not come down also. But for me, at this point, the risk is not really in my favor. So I would not add this at this point. If it comes back towards levels of 16,800, probably yes, or even towards levels of 16,000, then it's a very good entry, or wait for a consolidation above and then enter above that. Okay, so next is IRB Infra. Yeah, now this is a nice consolidation. Now same thing is happening in Bosch, right? So Bosch had a strong move. Now what you need to do is keep a buy stop above that point, right? So 215 above, keep a buy stop, then you can trail a stop loss to 200 levels, right? But IRB Infra, I think yeah, I already posted this some time back, that this is the target, but right now we're heading towards 277, which is the top resistance, and then we can do well. Yeah, but you can enter here even at the current levels, but keep a stop around 164. See if how much you lose, and if you don't want to lose that amount, then you have to revise your levels. Okay. Binay is asking Hindustan Copper and Nazara. I think a lot of noise on Hindustan Copper of late because Vedanta is acquiring. It's still struggling to cross at 130 levels, right? So I'd probably wait for it to cross that levels of 130 and also cross above the trend line. Only then I'd consider this. Until then, probably I'd not consider this. Yeah, I'd give it some more time, right? There's still not proper buying happening there. There's still some sell-off happening on the top level. So for now, I just wait for it. But if you want to go ahead with the stop loss at around 110. But I would not personally go ahead at this point. I'd probably wait for a good day, good closing, and then enter. It still has, even if it, if you enter late also, it doesn't matter because it can go all the way up to 200 in case it has a good closing above 130. Then yeah, it can go all the way up back to 200 levels. So yeah, that's my view on Hindustan Copper. Nazara. Now this is what I want to look, right? So the Bosch case, we had a similar breakout and we had a nice consolidation. Now you enter above that point, right? Now again, Nazara is in a beautiful long-term trend. It's since that breakout here, it's already up more than almost 50% up, and I think this can go higher, even much higher from here. But I would not add this right now at this point. I wait for some consolidation like this and then add it more. Okay. Deepak, I'm sorry, I will not entering Birlasoft again in my own Lakh portfolio. I will decide the stocks I want to enter. I'm not going to listen to others. Basically, I'm going to teach you how I enter and not what others want me to enter. Right. So right now, I would not enter Birlasoft in this portfolio. There's no momentum at all. It's just going sideways. So it's not even under my scanner at the moment, at least. Ganesh, MGL. Guys, let's keep the questions to 2 per person. There are a lot of questions that I think I need to answer. So let's not go more than 2 questions. So MGL is just going sideways here, right? You see this proper rectangle. So buy above only 1250, don't buy above, until then I would not even look at it. Remember, a stock can be a great stock, but it might not move. It can go like this for years, and don't get caught. Always buy above breakouts and always buy strong stocks. Yes, Naresh, Radico is doing well, right? So it's yet to break out from the box, but yeah, it's a good closing for today. And yeah, you can go ahead and buy, take initial quantity in this. The stop here is 865. Hey, Suman, PSP, Tejas, we already discussed PSP. PSP is looking great. Yeah, we spoke about this, this breakout there, and I think it has broken out very clearly. You can enter now if you want to. A stop loss here is 474. If you're a little conservative, then keep 400 as a stop loss. Okay, Triveni, yes, let's look at Triveni. Triveni Turbines or Triveni Engineering? Suman, please be clear on that. But if it's Triveni Engineering, then we've had a breakout here, we've had a horizontal consolidation, and we've had a move up as well. So a retest here could be bought, but also this could be forming a rectangle consolidation. Now, I spoke about how a triangle can morph into a rectangle. Now, this is how it morphs, right? So once it reaches there, you see this is a breakout here, but once it reaches there, it gets rejected. Now it forms a rectangle, right? That's how triangles change in rectangles. Okay, Bosch is VCP. Bosch has already broken out. Bosch is inverted head and shoulders, Ganesh. Okay, auto sector, short-term view. I think auto sector is not recovering. I did expect last week it to break out, but I think it's just going sideways again. Short-term view it's just going sideways. It needs to cross that level there. This level, it needs to cross this level, and only then we can see some good momentum. So it needs to take out that. So if it crosses above 10,770 levels, then we can again see some good momentum in auto stocks. Probably it's forming an inverted head and shoulders pattern also here. If you ignore this, then that's probably the left shoulder, head, and probably right shoulder is forming. Okay, we might know soon. But for now, the short term is only above, this level, about 10,700, 800 levels. Only then it will go high. Rakesh is asking PL, Pyramid, and Indus Bank. Pyramid had an excellent breakout yesterday. It is just a retest today, in my opinion. It is just a retest. So it can reverse again and probably head higher from here. Okay, so it looks good. IndusInd is one of the best stocks in the banking space. Yeah, it is facing resistance around that highs. It has really good momentum. Here, the stop loss can be, this level. So I think that's a rectangle setup on the lower time frames. But once it breaks above or below, then you can probably take your call accordingly. Okay. Deepak Fertilizer. Let's look at it. You're saying it's a confluence of support, horizontal, and channel. I don't see a channel, to be honest, because if you're talking about this as a channel, it's not even close to that. But yes, horizontal support is there. It is going sideways. Probably this is a trend line, that it might reverse. Yes, could be. So this is probably a trend line that it might reverse. So keep a close watch on this. It can reverse, or if you won't risk your money, then enter above this level here, right? So this could be a level that you want to enter above. So enter above 430 levels, 35 levels. The stop around 380 levels. Okay. Akshay, BSC. Yeah, we spoke about BSC and it's going to the, it's almost going to the edge. So keep a buy stop about 1290. It can do well. But I think, yeah, BSC is about to break out. Okay. So I think today we are a little ahead of time. So I've answered all your questions. Yeah, as someone already pointed out, don't forget to like your channel, like the video before you drop off, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and do share this video with your friends. I hope you're learning with me, and stay safe, especially tomorrow. We're not sure whether they're going to gap down or gap up. As of now, it looks like we might have a mild gap up according to SGX Nifty, but we know SGX Nifty how unreliable it can be, but it's forming a nice higher low recently. And also Dow Jones is forming, is going up. We've recovered all the losses and we're up back to minus 0.2%. And also I think we've recovered from major support levels. Again, we have formed a doji here, kind of a low wick every time. So I think the markets are kind of bottoming out, right? Even in DAX, if you see, it kind of recovered the losses. DAX has closed already, but yeah, probably not. So DAX is also closed, right? So DAX looks good, Dow Jones looks good, Nifty looks also decent. So let's see how it works out tomorrow. But otherwise, as usual, trade safe and stay safe as well. Okay, so thank you, good night, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.